The holidays are an extremely busy time of year for everyone, not just for agents, but I know agents struggle with working or unplugging and taking family time. So I'm going to tell you today exactly what agents should be doing during the holidays to make the most of the coming year. Let's go. What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 366 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm. As you can see, wearing what I believe is the best purchase I've made all year, my Massive Agent Podcast ugly Christmas sweater. This thing's fantastic. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome for this. It's fantastic, and it's been a hit at my family Christmas parties. Welcome to the show, guys. I am right now. I'm recording this 2 days prior to Christmas. This will come out on Christmas on YouTube and the day after Christmas on audio platforms. This time of year is crazy busy with family stuff, with work stuff, with everything, and it's all mashed together. And this time of year creates a lot of extra stress for those in our industry for a lot of different reasons, right? And a part of it is this guilt that we give ourselves. We're like, well, should I be taking time off? Should I be unplugging? Or should I just be working and doubling down and, writing my goals for next year and all that stuff? I'm going to give you my thoughts on exactly what real estate agents should be doing during the holidays. And you're going to fall into one of two camps. So I'll give you, depending on which one you fall into, I think what you should be doing, it depends, right? So I'll jump into it. So the first camp, the first group of agents that you're having a pretty good year, things are good, but you're trying to get to the next level. You're trying to level up and double next year. But things are pretty good for you. I think you can absolutely unplug more, enjoy more, spend time with the family, just turn on your damn phone off for a day or two if you'd like. If you're in another boat where you're behind, you're in a hole, you're struggling, maybe like you're just behind on a bunch of bills and you're trying to play catch up, you need to unplug less and work potentially even more. So as I go through today's episode, just know which one you're in. It may not necessarily apply to you. 100% of you, for sure, no matter what tough situation you're in, I think there's value in unplugging, at least taking Christmas off, maybe Christmas Eve, because so much good can happen when you unplug, when you just have time to think, even especially if you turn your phone off and you're just hanging out, you're just relaxing. Maybe you take a nap, maybe you go jump in the hot tub for an hour, or you're just doing family Christmas parties and stuff. When you take your mind off of work and business, you can think more clearly. It gives you perspective that you wouldn't have if you're constantly in the trenches doing all of the things. And so even if you're in that place where you're behind and you're in a hole that you're trying to dig out of, realize that it's okay to take a break, to recharge and refuel, to then continue the fight. If you're in a good place, I think you should be taking more time than not during this time of year, just to think about what next year's going to bring, how you want to do business, what your goals are, what milestones you want to hit, who you want to be associated with, what you want your business structure to look like, what you want your days to look like, how much family time do you want to have. You can't really think about that stuff if you're too bogged down with your to-do list. So the holidays are a great time. I mean, they're busy enough already, especially if you have family living locally. It's just insane with constant events and parties and this and that and the other thing, which is amazing. But try not to guilt yourself so much into, well, I really shouldn't have gone to that Christmas party. I should have been working instead. I don't necessarily know that that's true. I really don't. I believe that the whole point of doing business and having this career in real estate is so that you can live your life, right? You need to make a living so then you can live. I believe that happiness and fulfillment and real, like an actual, I think the most income comes from somebody who says, you know what, this is the life that I want to live. This is the lifestyle that I want. And you define it clearly. And then you build a business around it that supports the lifestyle you want. where so many of us screw up, I know I did in the beginning, is you just start doing all the things. You start taking all the action, doing all the things, and you're like, oh, and pretty soon your day is just completely full of just random to-do list stuff and you're like, I'm in business. I'm being an agent now. And while that's true, I don't, pretty soon you find yourself way far away from where you wanted to go. Like I got into this industry because I wanted to build wealth. I wanted freedom, time freedom, money freedom. Like I wanted flexibility of schedule and all that stuff. But then you start doing all these activities and you realize, wait, you're running away from freedom. Like you're creating anything but time freedom. You're just bogged down by a bunch of stuff. And very few people teach you how to build an actual business. Very few people teach you how to hire others and how to take work off your plate and put it onto others, which allows you to sell more and make more and to be more present for your family and for your life. So you have to train yourself, or untrain yourself rather, that, hey, it's not about just being busy doing things and then living your life when you have free time. How often does that play out? If you started as an agent and pretty soon you're busy, you're doing all the stuff, and then you take your spouse out on a date whenever you have time, like whenever you have a free weekend, how often does that happen? You play with your kids, or you take them to the park or go camping with them when you have a free moment, but then you don't ever have a free moment. It's because you're doing it backwards. You're building your business in a way that you're trying to live a life around your business. You're trying to fit your life in around your business. That's backwards. So you have to untrain yourself and unlearn all this crap that just, I believe it happens naturally. And there's just there's a serious lack of leadership in this industry that's going to teach you how to build an actual business and how to think like an entrepreneur and think like a CEO. Because I'm telling you right now, it's okay. It's more than okay. Like the right way is to define the life and lifestyle that you want and then build a business around it that supports it. So take time during the holidays right now to think that through. What does that look like? What do you actually want? And grabbing the thing that you say is the most important to you, which is family time or time with your friends or time to relax or self-care or whatever the hell you call it, grabbing that, you say that that's the most important thing. Well, then grab it. Like, what's wrong with that? It's because we've just been so programmed to think that you've got to keep working and working and working. And then when there's time, you can live your life. Wrong. That leads to burnout and misery and broken relationships. Nothing good happens. So some notes that I put together for what you should spend your time doing during the holidays as an agent to really be the most productive going into next year. And I don't mean working through the holidays, right? But by just thinking and planning and wrapping your head around certain things will help you to have a super productive next year. So unplugging and reflecting, we already talked about that. Client appreciation. You may be the pop by kind of person, totally fine. But at a minimum, without sales pitches and without like, hey, if you have any real estate needs, call me, drop all that bullshit and just appreciate the people that have done business with you. Simple as that. Appreciate them. It could be as simple as Merry Christmas. I hope you have an amazing 2025. It was great to work with you. I'm glad we got to meet each other. As long as it's genuine, just appreciate them. You don't need to put your logo on a Christmas card. You don't need to send out posting branded Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays messages on social. In fact, don't do that. I think that's exactly what you shouldn't do. Just because your company makes it easy to create those graphics doesn't mean you should post them. I believe you should not. If they're generic branded graphics, just skip it. The best thing you could do is just turn the camera around, point it at yourself, and just say to people, Merry Christmas. Tell them the message that you want to tell them without some branded thing. Because when you put your logo on it, it makes it seem like all you're trying to do is get business from it. What's going to get you business is showing real, true, genuine appreciation for your clients and the other vendors in your life and partners in your business. Spend time planning your next year. Of course, wrap your head around what you want this next year to look like. It's not enough to say 2025 is going to be a great year. How? what would make it a great year? If it is a great year, what does that look like? What do you define as great? What would make 2025 a great year for you? Start defining those things and just think for, even if it's days and days and days, just dream and think about how you can make that happen and what's necessary to make that happen. Brainstorm some new strategies and ad campaigns if you need to, but, think about the systems you need, but just think and plan. It doesn't have to be fancy. There's really no wrong way to do that. Spend the time building and strengthening relationships. Use this slower season of business to really reconnect with your network and be a human being. Don't do it to get business. Do it to be a human being who's likable and you genuinely care about connecting with people. And spoiler alert, that is how you get a bunch of business, because nobody wants to hire somebody that they don't connect with. They want to hire someone they connect with. So be connect withable, so to speak. Spend the time during the holidays creating some content. If you have some downtime, if you have some extra time, create that piece of content, record that video, put the plan in place to do the content that you wanted to do. It's a great time of year to sum up the year you've had in like a year in review post. I posted one on Instagram and I showed like how many flights I took, how many miles I flew, how many Ubers I took, how many date nights I took my wife on, how many days of the year I cold plunged. Spoiler alert, 365. Crushed it. Cold plunged every damn day of the year this year. And most of last year. I got my cold plunge in July of 23 and then did it. I think I missed 14 days total in 2023, at least from July until the end. And then this year, every single freaking day, even while traveling, I did a cold plunge or a cold shower at a minimum, which, by the way, cold showers are so much harder than a cold plunge, because you're moving around and you can't get settled in. When you're in a cold plunge, you're in it, and then you just start to get used to it. So anyways, do one of those year in review posts. Those are great. People love looking at that. If they're just short, boom, 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 things like, here's how many homes I sold. Here's how many vacations I went on. Here's how many mistakes I made. Here's whatever. Spend some time doing a year in review post. Those are super cool. You could do a piece of content like the top 5 neighborhoods to look for in 2025, the top housing trends in Salt Lake City for 2025. Don't overthink it. But if you actually have time to sit there and think and come up with ideas, you can actually create this stuff. The next thing, spend your time doing, clean your office, clean your desk off. Yes, I'm speaking to myself. There's a reason why the camera is only showing from the chest up right now, because you'd be ashamed of me if you saw my desk. I get it all clean, and then it slowly starts to accumulate shit, and then I have to clean it again. And I'm in one of those times where I've got to clean it again, and it's a great time to do that. When you have a decluttered, organized, clean office space and working space, you just operate at a higher level of energy. You just do. It's incredible. So a lot of you just need to clean your damn desk. Take time for self-improvement. Read a book. Listen to an audiobook. Start taking care of yourself with your health and fitness, or at least plan on what you're going to do starting next week, right? How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to create a plan to exercise regularly, or to eat well, or to eliminate all the processed bullshit and chemicals from your foods? Put a plan in place to eat organic whenever possible, right? But you've got to think about that and plan that now. And then again, just unplug and recharge. Unplug and recharge with your loved ones, with your friends and family, because when you do that, it also helps you to realize that the relationship is more important than the transaction. And when you can really lean into relationships, even on the personal side of things, it's easier to lean into relationships on the business side and realize that it's all one and the same. Your personal relationships can and should lead to business if you're doing it authentically. On social media, share some personal moments, like what you're up to during Christmas and New Year's and the holidays. Be authentic, humanize your brand, humanize yourself. People will only ever follow you or connect with you if they can connect with you personally. So let people in, let them see what you're up to. Let them see who you are as a person. And I think you'd be surprised at how much good that can do for your business. Don't be afraid to take time off. Don't be afraid to take time off. Don't be afraid to just completely check out for a few days. And if you need to tell, if you have clients and you're like, hey, I'm actually not going to be available from this day to this day, but so-and-so you can contact if there's something that you really need me for. Plan ahead to unplug and check out. It's one of the best things ever. I hope that you're as optimistic for 2025 as I am. It feels like something really big and powerful is going to happen this next year. It feels like it's the harvest and we've just been planting seeds. We've been planting seeds for the last 3-4 years, and now it's time to harvest. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that for you. I would encourage you to make it easier for yourself. Get the tools that you need. Get Keeping Current Matters. You need to know what's happening in the economy and with interest rates and housing trends and all that stuff, but you sure as shit don't need to spend 3 hours a week studying up on that. Just use Keeping Current Matters. Go to trykcm.com/BAM and try it out for free and see why so many of the top producers out there are all using KCM. It's a tool they have in their tool belt and it needs to be in yours. And then plug into the BAM X community. They are about to level up like crazy with BAM X. Online courses, trainings, masterminds, the community, the referral network, and it's their business in a box. Incredible. So if you're going to join BAMX, use code MASSIVE at checkout. Save yourself some money over at nowbam.com, which hopefully you already have that bookmarked. And hopefully you already follow BAM on social, because you should. Best media company in real estate, without question. I appreciate you so much this year listening. I appreciate the comments, the shares, the reviews, the messages that I get. You better believe I'm coming back and doing it big in 2025. I plan to. I'm not sure exactly when this will happen by. A few things have to happen first, but my plan is to really level up the production quality of this podcast. Possibly do some in-person stuff, which I've never done, which is crazy. I've done 7 years now, almost 7 years of podcasting, and I've never done an in-person episode for this podcast. I've been a guest on others in person, but never for this. So we're going to level the hell up at some point this year. A couple other things have to happen first, but I'm excited for what's to come. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the episodes with other friends that you have in the industry. I appreciate you all. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Take care.